So I recently have started seeing somebody. He's a man.
Nice.
And I kind of knew him beforehand. He's kind of unfortunately a gym bro, which is fine. But I just recently found out that he is on tren and steroids as well as testosterone. Is it true that these wrestlers and bodybuilders get physically violent? I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. He's wonderful. I have no issues with him so far. We mesh very well. But it's just the gym bro. Like, he is a gym bro. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell him to not do that or if I'm, like, overstepping bounds to say, hey, don't do steroids. But very short. I don't really know what to say other than I love you and I love your show, and hopefully I'm going to see you when you go on tour.
Nice.
Bye.
By the way, I think she said, hey, Stav, and it translated to hot dog.
I know. It's Google voice transcription cannot figure out Stav or Eldest to save his life.
Okay, well, that's why I'm not
one
worried
of those
about
says
AI.
Pizza Rose. What is that even like? So, okay, this is interesting. So the person she's dating is on gear, basically. You know, can you tell him to stop is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This is how you met the guy. It's also, you're not, it sounds like you just started, she said recently started seeing somebody. And I guess it's the kind of thing where, you know, if you don't, which by the way, if this guy's doing things the right way, you know, a lot of these gym bros these days actually do know how to do this correctly. Like, it's kind of a crazy.
That's true.
I think it is a little nuts. I mean, obviously I'm unhealthy, right? I know that, but bodybuild, like, guys who take a ton of steroids and keep a ton of muscle, like, that's not healthy for you either. Like, they do it to look cool because they're chasing being jacked, and they're essentially trading a little bit of their future health for, you know, and unless you do it in a very smart way, it can be really bad for you.
Yeah.
And so I think as long as nothing bad is happening, right? Like, the fact that she's even like, do these guys get violent? We'll see, in a cute way.
Right.
That scares me a little bit. I hope you don't find out.
Yeah.
Or I hope you find out when he, like, you know, punches a hole through a wall because he lost an Xbox game, and then you know to break up with him.
Right.
But you know, the way I think you approach it is just like, this is who he was. Same thing as, like, if he smoked weed or he fucking, or if I was dating somebody, for example, and they knew I was fat as shit, and within a month they're like, how about some salads? I'd be like,
good point.
Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you out of your fucking mind?
You knew who I was.
Yeah, exactly. You knew who the fuck I am. It'd be different if she was like, hey, you know, how do you feel? Or, like, it's different if you want to talk to him about him and understand. Like, if somebody came up to me and was like, how do you feel about, do you feel it? Because there were times in my life where I was just getting fucked up, having a good ass time, not thinking. But there were other times in my life where I would have welcomed someone to be like, what's going on with your habits? Like, are you feeling okay? Like,
sure.
Like, is everything okay? And if it was somebody I loved and she just really wanted to be like, do you like getting this fucked up? Sometimes that can help. So maybe you could just talk to him about, like, what, like, oh, are you bodybuild? Like, what is, even to just understand him as a person.
Yes.
Because it is weird if you're not a competing bodybuilder and you're just like, you just have that level of body dysmorphia where you want to be jacked for no reason, and there are possible health negatives, and it's probably expensive. Like, what are you trying to get out of this?
Yeah.
Is something I would be curious.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it's just an expensive habit for him. Maybe instead of fucking building Legos, he likes building his fucking biceps or whatever. But I think you talk to him for that. And as long as there's no negatives to you, the only thing I could think of is, you know, being worried about his health, which could potentially happen if he's not doing things the right way.
And I think she could broach that. And because that's kind of coming from a place of compassion. Hey, I'm worried about your health. Just want to make sure you know what you're doing. But that's probably when she'll get hit. So then you can gauge. Okay, I guess he is violent. Then you can get out. So that's a perfect solution.
So here's what you do: you take him. You go. You say, I have a fun activity. We're gonna go do one of those jackass stunts where we get away from a police dog, and you're both wearing that giant protective. You're wearing that giant protective suit.
Yeah.
And then that's when you tell them not to do steroids, because then you could take a punch or two if you're wearing that giant suit.
Yeah, but I do take a little umbrage with the hey, this guy's a gym bro, blah blah. I'm like, you probably like the muscles that he had out of the gate. You're like, who's this guy at the bar or whatever it was.
Sure.
So that is a little tough with like, he's a gym bro, blah, blah. But I'm like, you like the muscle. It's like a guy going, this chick, she's on the treadmill all day. But you also don't want a fat girl.
Right.
So there is a little of that, but I think she's...
Or she does OnlyFans. It's like, you like those big fat tits.
That too.
You know what I mean?
Perfect
it's
example.
Like, that's possible. It could be a little hypocrisy.
Can't have it both ways.
I do think there is something to, we are attracted to people when we don't know that much about them.
Aha!
You know,
good
where
point.
it's like, yeah, you're right. It's probably hot that she probably liked how jacked this guy was. But yeah, that fucking guy that's jacked is different from like wanting to go out to dinner and he's like, oh, but I cooked... boiled chicken and broccoli for the whole week.
I need my protein.
You know what I mean? Like that's different. So, you have to think about, she seems fine with it though.
Yeah.
I think she's more just worried about the
violence,
the potential violence,
which is fair,
which is very fair, I think.
I do think you can be jacked, you can hit the gym and not do steroids or tren, whatever the fuck that is.
Tren, I believe, yeah,
and still be jacked. By the way,
totally.
So I don't know if he needs the roids, unless you're not in the NFL.
But that's what I mean. Is like why that there is like definitely something going around the internet where there's these guys that like want to look awesome just for pure vanity, like
right.
And it's not. It used to be you wanted to fuck girls.
Exactly.
These guys don't even want that.
No,
they want attention from other guys. Honestly, and not even
100%.
Like it's like this weird thing, and some of them are just like some of them do so like are so lean and whatever. And are so jacked that it fucks up their sex drive. Or some of these steroids and shit fuck up their sex drive. These guys literally are becoming like this army of turbo incels, and it just doesn't make it. They're not even incel. They're volcel. But it's like, so it's fascinating, and I would be curious to get a more of an understanding if I were her, to get more of an understanding as to why he even does that. Because we're like, what are you doing this for?
Yeah, you got the girl.
You got the girl. Are you competing? Are you whatever? Like, maybe he does want to do that. Plenty of people want to do like, if he wants to be an amateur bodybuilder.
Sure.
Okay, whatever. But yeah, figure it out. Keep it, but the people we love are always going to have these weird little, they're going to belong to weird little subcultures. And by the way, some gym bros can be toxic, but a lot of them are the nicest guys of all time.
Yeah, well, they get it out in the gym sometimes.
And some of them are just like nice nerds that a lot of the most jacked guys are just kind of like nice nerds, dude, for real. Truly, that just happen to be jacked.
True.
So, these guys don't have to be, this guy doesn't have to be piece of shit. Seems like you like him. So anyway, hopefully I see you and your muscle-bound boyfriend at whatever show on the Dreamboat Tour.
Here, here.